guys, welcome to a week in my life. Usually I start the day with a nice matcha, so I wanted to do a quick tutorial. First I start with sugar. It's about 20 grams. I know that's a lot, but I like a sweet matcha. This time I was using the Apoto tea. I hope I said that right. It has this really nice vibrant green color. It's very pretty. And it tastes amazing. It's got like a hint of nutty flavor. I usually do approximately 3.5 grams, maybe 4 grams, maybe 4.5. It depends on how I feel that day. I swear my sifting technique has gotten better, but in this video currently it's not the best. So yeah, we'll wait until I get to 3 grams. But yeah, while I'm still sifting, I'm really happy to have you guys with me today and do a whole week in my life together. I know it might not be, so it looks like this day I decided to do 3.5 grams, which is pretty standard. I would say that if I do 3.5 grams, I try to do approximately 35 grams of water. Now I have my ice in the cup. We have this like rounded mold, and I find it works very well for matcha, and it takes a lot longer to melt, which is good because I take a long time to drink my matchas. With that, I usually do around 130 to 150 grams of milk. Usually I use 2% because I find that tastes great, but I realized that a lot of cafes actually use whole milk. Which I didn't think of before, but it makes a lot of sense because at cafes you get that nice, rich, deep matcha taste, and that tastes really, really great, so I see why they do it. Just 2% works well for me, and I don't want to buy a whole new milk just to do that. So right now I'm doing a pre-mix of my matcha. I'm trying to make it into a paste to ensure that there's no clumpiness. That's kind of what I'm doing is a little redundant because I already did sift the matcha, so this step is not necessary, but I usually just do it anyway. I don't know, it makes me feel better, and I like having that whole routine. So because I did 3.5 grams, I'm doing about 30 to 35 grams of water, and then you just sift it really hard for about a minute. It'll have this nice foamy color to it. As you can tell, it has this very nice vibrant green color to it. That means that it's just, I think Apoto tea has like the best quality matcha, or one of the best, and I really enjoy it personally, and I would purchase it again. It's approximately $50 for 40 grams, I believe, so that brings you to about $1.25, and that's per gram of matcha. So if you're doing 3 grams of matcha in a drink, that is $3.75, and if you do 4 grams, that's $5 for one matcha, which is not too bad, especially when a lot of cafes cost $7, $8, $9, even $10 per matcha. So that makes it really cost effective to make your own matcha at home, which I've enjoyed doing a lot. Now look at that, how gorgeous. I was very proud of this. So then I just pour it directly on top of the ice and milk. Wow, look at that. Makes me thirsty just looking at it, to be honest. And then I take my bowl, and I feel like this is maybe a never before seen matcha bowl or chawan trick, but I take a spoon that's made of silicone and I scrape the sides, because you'll see how much I get out of this. It's very much worth it to me, so I do this every time I make a matcha, but you get a decent amount out from just scraping the bowl, and I don't like to waste. So I do scrape my bowl every time because, you know, no matcha goes to waste here. And that's how I make my matcha. I feel like I've gotten a lot quicker at being able to sift out the matcha and guesstimate how much is like 3 to 4 grams. Overall, I've gotten so much better at every step of matcha making and really whisking the matcha very well. I think I've really improved. Now I'm doing a silent review of my matcha that I made. And you know what? I am giving it a 5 out of 5 stars because it was delicious. It always is delicious. Very proud of myself. Later that day, I made some roasted chicken for dinner. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it was delicious, and some asparagus to go with it. I really love cooking, so I do it quite often. Happy Wednesday, y'all. This is me with my pre-gym matcha. Why am I notorious for doing new hairstyles right before I have to leave? We're getting there. We're not there, but we're getting there. Okay, I could stop here, and it's probably not the worst thing I've ever done. Okay. Completed hair. Hopefully it looks cute, because this is what I got to work with. Because I gotta go. I could fluff this side more. Whatever. I gotta go. Thanks for coming to the hair portion of today's whatever. I made a piece of chocolate. You didn't need to know that. Here's the fit. Now I'm on my way to Pilates. Usually I just walk to the bus stop. It's pretty cold today, so I'm super bundled up. And I take my matcha with me on the go because I definitely did not finish it at home. So I've got my little Yeti and my matcha and my headphones. And here I am at Pilates. I go to this place that has really loud music and it's very enjoyable because you can't hear yourself struggling. So that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna keep coming back to this studio because I really like the instructor here. So for dinner, I decided to make a recipe that I've never tried before. It's called chicken and dumplings. I had it in a restaurant recently and I found it to be quite good, so I wanted to recreate it at home. It came out really well and I made biscuits with it like it's usually made. Thursday, we've got a quick matcha making. So this is a different matcha than previously. It's from a cafe called 12 Matcha. I really enjoy their flavor of matcha. It's got some really nice nuttiness to it and a little bit of umami. So if you're ever in New York City, please go there and pick up some powder for your next matcha. Hello, it's me again and it's Thursday. I'm about to go to the gym. It's me again and it's Thursday and I'm about to go to the gym. Hopefully my hair turns out the way I want to. I think it looks better on camera than it does in real life, which I can't complain. I want to do some cycling, which means I want to put my hair up into a bun. And I think that I'm not gonna like how it looks when I do that, which is why I'm filming this. See you after. I want to do some junk journaling today, so I will see you a little later. And here is the gym fit with the finished hair. It actually came out better than I was expecting. I'm doing the cycling on the Peloton. I really like this instructor and I always have a really good time and I sweat a lot, TMI. And then I do some stretching afterwards because one of the things I want to accomplish this year is to do a split. Here I am having my post-gym jam. If you can guess this song, put it in the comments down below. I've recently gotten into junk journaling, so I decided to record myself making a spread because I really like the creativity behind it and I thought it'd be really cool to watch, I guess, my creative process. So there was a weekend where my friend was here and I collected a bunch of bits and bobs from that weekend. Here for the background, there's this really nice pattern paper that's part of her gift. So that was her gift wrapping, the scraps from me wrapping up her presents, and I really liked incorporating that. It's just a fun memory. We also went to a Broadway play called Death Becomes Her. The premise of the movie reminds me of enemies to lovers trope in a lot of books. However, it's enemies to best friends, based off a movie that was originally made in 1992 starring Meryl Streep. The play was actually quite funny and I would recommend watching it if you ever can. I think I'd rate it 4.5 stars. And here's us and my finished spread. It turned out really well, I think. This time I tried to make my spread interactive so things could move around. And I really liked how it turned out. So that was great. I had a really fun time doing that. And now I have to clean up all my scraps that I cut out. Fast forward to later in the day when I was going to do dishes and listen to my current audiobook, but I very quickly realized that I was in the wrong spot. This is just not right. I was so quick to realize my mistake, but I completely forgot to keep recording. So fast forward again to later that night. I had decided to bake some cookies. Now hear me out. Here's my baking process. Now I am am not a professional at all. I just randomly decided that I wanted to start baking some things. So I don't know if there's something in the air when you turn 25, but for some reason I decided I wanted to be a baker. So here we are. If you know how to bake, I will accept tips and tricks, but please just look away because if you know how to bake, this might frustrate you a little because I don't have mixing bowls. I barely have the right tools. So this is very much like me trying my best to bake, but it's maybe not turning out the best. So I made some oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and you know what? They turned out well. So who needs tools when you have passion? Now here's me on Friday. I went to go pick up something on the west side, so I decided to bring my laptop and get some Blank Street, which I have not had in a while. So I got a strawberry matcha and I did some work. I had a couple things to get done, and then later that night I took the train to the shore in New Jersey because I was gonna spend the weekend there with family. I do this quite often because I actually prefer Jersey to New York. So on the weekend my priority is always to visit my favorite cafe. It's called Hey Peach. There was a line today, but I had a very cute line mate, so that was okay. I always get something from here, no matter what it is that they've made for the weekend. They have the absolute best pastries I've ever had. Everything here is delicious. I cannot stop raving about this place. It's like my hidden gem. They make everything fresh from the night before. I've actually seen them here at like 2 in the morning baking before. They're very sweet people, and it's an independently owned shop, so I think that if you can support people that really put their heart and soul into things like they do here at Hey Peach, I am 1000% willing to support them every chance that I get, and they really do deserve it. They make great matchas as well, so every time I'm there I also get a matcha. My typical order definitely consists of a matcha every single time, a chocolate croissant, and they make the most amazing espresso brownies. They're the best. Now basically all I recorded this weekend was the different food I got. So we went to an Italian bakery and got some pastries, and of course we had to stop at Rook, which is mostly in central Jersey. They have the best coffee. And I'm not even a cold brew girl, but their strawberry mocha cold brew was absolutely amazing, and I'm not into strong coffee like that. Now, I didn't record a ton just because I wanted to spend time with family and really focus on that, but I really appreciate you guys coming along with me this week, and I definitely hope to see you all very, very soon. So thank you, and see you next time. Bye!